Hey guys, I am Big and Scary. I'm bringing you the second matchup against Team Echo versus Clan dA. The first match went to Clan dA, and we will see if Team Echo can rally or if dA can keep the momentum. Representing dA in the top left corner is EchO.Jade, our green Protoss, and this is a PvP matchup. So in the bottom right we have Jade Pop, our blue Protoss. Jade Pop raging pretty hard against Nurcio. Why? He's so friendly. It's okay though. I'm sure he'll explain it as I explain the map. It is Ohana. This is a best of 3, so who wins here doesn't really matter. You know, it'll move on to the next matchup and then the one after that. Oh, he played against Nurcio and LOL. That's okay. He could cheat on StarCraft every now and then. LOL's a fun game. It's a very fun game. I have never played it though, but I've watched it several times on Twitch, and you should too. It's fun. It's entertaining how fast and exciting it is. Not super entertaining to watch people throw down pylons up on the high ground, but it's cool to note on the placement. No forge fast expand out of these fellas. Ohana is pretty fun to do a forge fast expand, but against a Protoss it's very much non-standard. This placement is very standard. We're going to see the gateway go right up on top of that. Is going to be the cybernetics core. Probably get some gas thrown in the mix a short time after that. Jade Pop seems to be throwing down his gateway half a second faster than EchO.Jade, and it looks like because he's also typing it down. I wonder how that eats into his APM, but it updates so fast that that stuff has already disappeared, I'm sure. Gas being grabbed by EchO.Jade first. No gas quite yet out of Jade Pop. There he goes. And both players are getting the scout off. It looks like a nice play there by Jade Pop, just checking the bottom left corner to see if there was a proxy pylon thrown down by EchO.Jade. And he's got another scouting probe off just to see the timing on the nexus, if there's going to be one on the low ground, and then also to see how far along the gateway and gas is. Checking that gas, it's got the 3 probes on it already mining up. Another pylon going down, another gateway. Going to see a cybernetics core coming out of both players in just a moment or two. Ohana is a rather long map lengthwise, just top to bottom, and since it's forced cross spawn, you can expect to see the timing that's going to be coming out of either player will be slightly delayed because of that. And it also kind of favors the 2-base build. The second base, the natural, is just so incredibly well defended. You do have the supplemental pathway on the right side, the destructible debris being, you can remove that and open up another pathway, but you have to telegraph that movement. You have to really expose yourself while you're trying to do that damage, and the opponent usually has enough time to defend it. So 2-base play is pretty well defended. Third base is very much in the open. I mean, a huge pathway down to it, and don't even get me started on the 4th base. That place is just like a harlot, man. There's so many different ways to get in there. Giggity. Second assimilator being grabbed for EchO.Jade, as well as Jade Pop is working on that second gateway. All that's been scouted by EchO.Jade. I mean, he's got his probe in there. He sees that the second gas has not been grabbed, but rather he favored that second gateway. Is there a second gateway for EchO.Jade? No, there's not. So what is he going to be doing with all that extra gas? Only time can tell. Probably going to be a robo in short order. Starport is very limited in its effectiveness against the plethora of anti-air that a Protoss can afford to throw out. But if it was going to be a bunch of gateways, he'd be throwing down a bunch of chrono boosts on that cybernetics core. As things are now, he's definitely saving all that extra energy. I mean, what is he going to spend that for? Speaking of energy, check out the nexus for Jade Pop. It's down to 14. He's constantly chrono boosting out stalkers from his home base rather than trying to speed up the warp gate tech. An interesting choice there as he grabs his second gas. And what is this on the production tab? Still nothing for EchO.Jade. What is he saving up so much money for? He's cleared the 400 mineral mark. He should have thrown down that nexus 40 seconds ago whenever he had the first 400 minerals. It could be that he was just waiting for this probe to return home so they didn't have to pull something off on off of the mining. It looks like the first stalker has gone down. I believe that's in the favor of Jade Pop. Yes, no, it's not. Wow, it's from EchO.Jade. He only lost 1 unit and 175 minerals. My goodness, my goodness. But he still has a Stalker, a Zealot, and a Sentry back at home. On the other side of things, Jade Pop is positioning a pylon over here at the 5th location, and his Stalkers are very much afield, very much in control of the map. And EchO.Jade's going to have to feel the pressure if he's expecting to defend this Nexus. He doesn't have any infrastructure up at all to support that. His Robo is very much delayed, as is the Gateway. And with the Proxy Pylon done, as well as 2 more gateways, the 2 gateways plus the 1 on the way, Jade Pop's going to be in a fantastic position to do the aggression here. Stalker's moving forward, taking some easy hits from the Zealots, but focusing down those sentries. A massive play here The quick force field going down on the ramp is a good desperation play by Exilium. He's really got to cancel this Nexus ASAP, and Jade Pop knows that it's going to get canceled, trying to force his way through that force field. He should walk up the ramp. He should walk up the ramp right now. Awesome. So there goes the Stalkers moving up, and there goes the cancel from Exilium, pulling all of his probes. What is he going to do with that extra money, though? He doesn't have the infrastructure to spend it down. He's really just got to buy time for the robotics facility. Pulling probes is definitely the wrong decision here. He just needs to cart them around in a corner, try to keep them around. Gets the surround on all those Stalkers. One of them might go down, but it's definitely not going to get him back in this game. With 11 workers killed, the economy tab will tell you the whole story. 12 to 29. Even if Jade Pop loses all these Stalkers and he's retreating with 3, he's in such a fantastic economic shape right now that he's going to have a ridiculous lead. I think all he needs to do now is just take another expansion, sit back, relax on the macro, and realize that Exilium is so far behind there's really no repair for that. Jade Pop, though, appears to be committing to this aggression. He's got Observer coming out. Is going to be scouting the high ground. That Immortal and its timely arrival is definitely going to be doing quite a bit of a number. Oh no, the Observer gets scouted by another Observer, goes down, so Exilium's the one with the greater detection, but all he's going to do is detect the fact that if he moves out, he's going to die very quickly. And even with this paltry force and a single sentry coming out, he's not going to have a ground force intimidating enough to secure the natural, which he needs to do right now. He just needs to have 2 Nexus up, and if he had allowed this Nexus to go up, he would have had probably not enough money to buy the second Stalker, but he would have had 2 different Nexus to continually produce probes, and he might be able to get back into this. He might have been able to repel this. Really, I think Jade Pop just still would have come out as the victor here, but there's no real way to know exactly what would have happened. You can't really play that game. Comes the force field from the sentry, hopefully going to prevent those Stalkers from going up. A fantastic force field just on the lip there, making it so the 3 Stalkers do go down. One of the pylons that was positioned on the ramp did go down, so ultimately that makes it so it's less of a net loss for Jade Pop, but still a bit of a loss. In fact, the resources loss tabs are very much neck and neck, but remember, 33 over 20 for the probe count. Heavily in the favor of Jade Pop, especially as this Nexus gets started. It's actually halfway done, and that saturation is going to be moving over to that natural, and we're going to see the economic tab heavily in the favor of Jade Pop in short order. Robotics Bay going down, but on one base you might be able to afford 1 or 2 Colossus, but it's going to come at heavily the expense of your ground army, as well as the infrastructure of 3 Gate with 1 Robo mimicking that of Jade Pop's end result. Throwing on 2 more warp gates just so he can continually warp in resources. Not really going to be relying on the robotics facility for quite a while now. He's probably going to get out another Observer so that he can actually detect the Observer from Exilium, and then maybe scout the high ground. Possibly see Blink later on so Jade Pop can pop this, but in all honesty, he can just relax and wait here on the natural, wait for Exilium to get mined out and do something desperate, which he's quickly approaching. I mean, Jade Pop's got that natural saturated. He's working on the saturation, making it so it's more intimidating, and then with that Observer arriving, Jade Pop is going to be able to push forward and harass a little bit at the lip without having to worry about getting his units trapped on the choke, even though that second sentry is out with enough energy for 2 force fields. So, Jade Pop in a commanding lead right now. Exilium definitely going to be feeling desperate. I think it might be a good idea, instead of building this next Observer, is to get a Warp Prism out. See if you can do some sort of Immortal drop. He's got 2 Immortals, but doing that would definitely make you a little bit more exposed to this sort of attack if he decided to push up. The Colossus now afield makes Exilium feel confident enough to push forward. That Colossus stomping on one of those Observer, and it looks like the 2 sentries and Immortal are going to be taking a couple of pot shots on their way home, but finally capable of outstripping him in the common ground. I think Exilium is going to have to push forward, take his own natural, and try to desperately catch up in the economic race, basically. Jade Pop, once he's arriving at home, will be able to engage in this choke, and I do not think Exilium's going to be confident enough in being able to push up that ramp. If he does, he's going to get force fielded to all hell. Oh no, it looks like he's expended some extra energy trying to buy a little bit of time for Exilium to catch up. Exilium's going to be pushing up the front door, but really needs to retreat right now. He does. Succeeded in taking out the Immortal, so that was a major win for Exilium, but now a Colossus of Jade Pop's own is out on the field, and those Stalkers, this is the March of the Daddy Longlegs, I've heard it called, is going to be pushing forward, now engaging with a fantastic concave. for Jade Pop, his Stalkers are swinging up on the right side, which is a fantastic sign for him. However, that Colossus is going to be doing quite a lot of damage to all those units kind of bunched up like that. Unfortunately, Jade Pop forced himself forward with those Stalkers, took a little bit of damage from the splash damage, but managed to snipe down that Colossus. Finally taking out this Stalkers and also the Immortal. Jade Pop's going to be coming out the win on this. That Warp Prism went down from Exilium, which represented his last hope, and he GG's out of the game. Warp Prism was a great idea. A drop with just a handful of Zealots would have cost relatively nothing, but would have succeeded in pulling back Jade Pop's main army, or at least preventing him from reinforcing it for a period of time, allowing Exilium to push out and take that natural. As things were, Exilium was very desperate. He needed to come in and either completely obliterate or destroy every single one of these probes and preventing them from retreating. In order to get back in this game, he took way too much damage from that first attack, and Jade Pop had his number. Hopefully, next match, we will see Jade Pop not succeed in doing so much damage in that first harassment. If Exilium was placed on a even footing, maybe this matchup would have ended up differently. We will see on the next game. I will see you guys later. I am Big and Scary.